Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon. Today our topic is risk and return. So any question before we proceed? Ada apa-apa soalan sebelum kita sambung? Alright, last week we have discussed about what is the basic knowledge about the risk and return. So apa maksud return? Okay, return it can be a positive return or it can be negative returns. Okay, pulangan ini ya, dia boleh jadi dalam dua bentuk. Sama ada dia dalam bentuk positif, meaning that total gain, okay, total gain is the positive return, ataupun dia dalam bentuk total loss, ataupun kita panggil dia negative returns, right? So, apa yang menyebabkan berlaku positive or negative return? What's meaning that what's influence the return can be a positive or negative returns? Ada satu elemen yang kita panggil risiko. Okay, risiko yang terlibat akan menyebabkan kadar pelanggan tersebut sama ada dia positif atau dia negatif. Alright. This is the basic concept how we measure the returns. Okay, this is the basic concept how we measure the return. So kalau you nampak sini end of the period price, okay, price end of the period plus dividend if any. Kalau tak ada dividend ada lah, kalau tak ada dividend tak ada. Minus the beginning of the period over or divide by the beginning of the period. Okay. Nilai akhir ataupun harga akhir tolak harga permulaan dan bagi dengan harga permulaan, you akan dapat the rate of return, okay, kadar pulangan. Mari kita tengok. Kalau kita tengok di sini, Damia, okay, Damia invest RM1,000. At the end of the year, the value or the price the Damia investment now become 1,100. Okay, so 1,100 plus nil here because there are no dividend declared, and then minus the beginning price and over the beginning price, the return here is 10%. Boleh setakat itu boleh ikut? Ini pun kita dah tengok itu. Alright, this is just the revision. Okay, kita tengok sini. R or R bar here. Kalau anda nampak ni R dan kemudian ada bar, is R bar or expected rate of return. What is the expected rate of return? Expected rate of return mean the return that investor expect to earn on an asset given its price, growth potential, etc. Expected return mean what's investor hope. Okay, what is the investor hope to get when they are involved in any investment? Okay, kadar pulangan dijangka adalah kadar pulangan yang diharapkan diperolehi oleh seseorang pelabur bila mana mereka menyertai sesuatu pelaburan tersebut. Okay, repeat, expected return, that the return that investor expect or hope to earn on the investment. Or the next one is required rate of return. Required rate of return, the symbol of the here is R. Okay, the symbol R here is the required rate of return. So what is the required rate of return? Required rate of return is the minimum return that investor require on the asset given its risk and market interest rate. Meaning that required rate of return kadar pulangan minimum yang diperlukan oleh pelabur apabila mereka menyertai sesuatu pelaburan. Right? Saya lukis di sini kalau anda nampak kelas tadi. Right? Okay, ini adalah R. Okay. This is R. Boleh nampak di belakang ni? Can you see my whiteboard? Alright. Sorry. This is R. Okay, R ataupun kalau kita tengok sini ada required rate of return. R adalah kadar pulangan minimum. Okay, this is a minimum line. Okay, kadar pulangan minimum, let's say 10%. Seperti yang saya beritahu tadi dalam kelas tadi, as a normal people, normally we hope to get higher or we hope to get a lesser from the minimum line here. Okay. Katakan kita sebagai seorang manusia biasa, kita mengharapkan lebih banyak atau kita mengharapkan kurang daripada garisan asas di sini ataupun kita panggil di sini benchmark. Okay. Benchmark line is R, 10%. This is the minimum line. Biasanya kalau kita nak melabur, when we involve in any investment, we hope to get more or we hope to get less. Okay. Apa pendapat you all semua? Anyone? Kalau you nak melabur, kalau katakan you masuk suatu skim pelaburan, you nak mengharapkan mendapat lebih atau you nak harapkan dia dapat kurang? Okay. Biasanya kita akan as a normal people, okay, as a normal people, normally we hope to get more. Okay, we hope to get more. Sini lah. So di sini biasanya adalah R bar. Okay, R bar. Okay. Jarang sekali. Okay, jarang sekali. As a normal people, we hope to get less. Itu di sini. So, R bar. Right. Biasanya, kalau di sini R ataupun minimum ataupun required rate of return here is 10%. When we hope to get more, nilai R here is, let's say, 20%. Okay. Bawah biasanya 5% je lah. Okay, 5%. Let's say 5%. R bar 5%. 10% is the minimum requirement. And 20% is the expected rate of return. Here, when expected rate of return is 20% here, okay, meaning that we accept, okay, we accept the investment. But if the expected rate of return less than 10% here, we reject the investment. Okay, as a finance manager, as a financial manager in a company, one of your responsibility or your task in the company is to make decisions. Okay, is to make decision to invest or not to invest. Okay, one of the criteria used in deciding which project should we invest or not is comparison between expected rate of return and required rate of return. Here, if the expected rate of return higher than required rate of return, we accept. But if the expected rate of return less than required rate of return, we reject. So in the company, one of your tasks is to give recommendations to the CEO in decision-making process. Okay. Your job, your task, your responsibility is so important. If you give a wrong judgment in deciding which project should the company invest, ianya akan menyebabkan sesebuah syarikat tersebut bankrupt ataupun not achieve profit target for that year. Okay. Jadi tugas pegawai kewangan adalah penting dalam pembuatan keputusan. So salah satu kaedah pembuatan keputusan adalah melalui perbandingan expected rate of return dan required rate of return di sini. Okay, boleh kan? Okay, any question? Here. Expected rate of return from investment determined by the different possible outcome such as probability of the occurrence of the various state of the economy. Maksudnya sini kadar pulangan dijangka tersebut adalah berbeza-beza mengikut keadaan ekonomi semasa. Okay, ada ekonomi yang dalam keadaan recession, ada ekonomi dalam keadaan stable, ada ekonomi dalam keadaan boom, for example. Okay, any question? Okay, how to calculate the expected rate of return? Okay. Bagaimana kita nak mengira kadar pulangan dijangka? Okay, here. How to calculate expected rate of return? So, you tengok sini. Ini pun kita dah tengok minggu lepas. Okay, given here is the recession 20%, 10%, 30%, return 12%, boom 50%, and 14%. Right? The expected rate of return here is 12.6%. So any question here? Again, once again, I just want to remind you the probability here total must be 100%. Okay, must be 100%. Okay. Or if you use decimal point, for example, here is 0.2, 0.3, and 0.5, the probability amount is 1.0. Okay, it depends on the question. Okay, setengah soalan dia menggunakan peratusan dan setengah soalan yang lain dia menggunakan angka perpuluhan dalam menentukan the probability here. Okay, but one thing you must know is jumlah total kebarangkalian di sini mesti 100%. Ataupun kalau dia guna decimal point, dia akan jadi sini 1.0. Okay, the return is depend on the situation here. Okay, return given here is depend on the state of economy given by the question. Alright, setakat ni ada soalan? Untuk setakat ini ada soalan. Any question here? Alright, kita dah sambung tu. Kita just buat revision saja. Alright, boleh tolong kirakan saya berapa expected return untuk company A and berapa expected return for company B? What is the expected return for A and what is the expected return for B? Here, kalau you perasan di sini here, this question use decimal point for probability. Okay, the total of decimal point here is 1.0. 1.0. Ataupun kalau if the question use percentage, so here must be 100%. It must be 100%. Alright, what is the answer or the expected return for company A? And what is the expected return for company B? Again. Okay, here is 10%. And here is 14%. Thank you very much. Okay, save your answer here. Okay, save your answer here. And 14%. Okay, the next one is risk. The definition of risk. Apa maksud risiko? Risiko is the variability in the future cash flow, meaning that the difference what you expect and what actually you get. Okay, itu maksud risiko. Apa yang kita harapkan berbeza dengan apa yang kita perolehi. That is the risk. Okay, the possibility that the actual return will differ from what actually we expect. Okay. So here, the concept is in the finance, the philosophy concept is the high risk and high return. Meaning that if you ready to involve in the high risk investment, you will rewarded with the high return. Okay, kalau you tak bersedia atau you tak sanggup berhadapan dengan risiko yang tinggi, you akan terlibat dalam pelaburan yang berisiko rendah. So the return also small. Okay. The wider range of possible future event that can occur is greater the risk. Okay, here is the probability. The probability chance is the chances that an investment will generate expected rate of return for investor. Here you can see when the high risk, the return also high. Okay, low risk and the return also low. Right? So how to measure the risk? Bagaimana kita nak mengukur risiko? We can calculate the risk. Okay, in the what you call in the finance. Okay, we only capture measurable risk ataupun calculated risk. We are not account the unmeasurable or uncountable risk. Okay, kita hanya mengambil kira risiko yang boleh dikira. Okay, tetapi ada setengah-setengah risiko ada tidak boleh dikira. Okay, kita hanya mengambil risiko-risiko yang boleh dikira. What is the meaning of countable or measurable risk? Meaning that kita ada data-data. We have data, and we have the information, and based on the data and information, we can forecast, we can calculate the exposure of the risk. Okay, berdasarkan data ataupun maklumat yang kita ada, kita boleh mengira pendedahan sesuatu jenis risiko. How do we measure the risk? Okay, the technique used is the standard deviation. Kita menggunakan sisihan PRY or the standard deviation to measure the risk. And we use this sign ataupun the sigma here. Okay, kita menggunakan tanda sigma di sini untuk mewakili standard deviation. What is the standard deviation? Standard deviation is the square root of the weighted average squared deviations of each possible return from the expected return. Dia adalah punca kuasa 2 bagi suatu purata pemberat yang kita gunakan untuk mengukur risiko tersebut. Okay. What is the standard deviation shape? Greater standard deviation mean greater the risk. So, semakin tinggi sisihan PRY, semakin tinggi sigma, maka semakin tinggi kadar risiko. Right? Okay, ini pun kita dah lihat hari itu. Alright, here tadi saya suruh simpan jawapan. Company A, expected rate of return here. Okay, expected rate of return of company A 10%, 10%, 10%, and expected return for company B is 14%. Here. Dan here is the return for company A, and this is the return for company B. So return A 4 minus 10, 10 minus 10, and 14 minus 10. All here is in power of 2, and kemudian kita darabkan dengan the probability here 2%, 0.2, 0.5, and 0.3, and the result is 7.2, 4.8. So the variance is 12%. The square root of standard deviation 12 is 3.46, and here is 13.86%. So saya dah tanya soalan ni, tapi saya akan tanya sekali lagi. Which stock would you prefer? Which stock that you prefer? Saya panggil nama. Yang mana satu kita lebih berminat untuk melabur? Alright, we start with Muhammad Hafiz, Shukri. Hafiz, are you here? Muhammad Hafiz, are you here? Hafiz Shukri. Alright, Muhammad Hafiz Shukri. Kita tanda di sini. Muhammad Firdaus Azman. Muhammad Firdaus, are you here? Aaron Teh Chun Guan. Aaron, are you here?
Yes.
Alright, Aaron, which one that you prefer?
Company B.
and give justification why you go for B.
Company B has high return.
How do you know company B have high return?
Standard deviation is higher.
Yes. All right. So Aaron, more for company B because the expected return. Sorry, because of the return is higher compared to the company A. Alright, saya akan panggil. I would like to call Yin Zue. Yin
Yes,
Zue.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. How about you? Which
Fine.
one better?
I will choose company B.
Company B. Why company B?
Because the return is high. Because high rate.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Based on the research done by researcher, the previous researcher shows that young people, they are more involvement in the riskier activities, meaning that para pelabur orang muda biasanya mereka suka dalam aktiviti yang berisiko. So mereka suka melabur atau to take the risk melabur dalam seperti Bursa Malaysia ataupun stock exchange, and they buy stock, the riskier stock, and they hope they can get a better return. Okay, so they go for the riskier stock. And compared to the pensioners, retirement people, okay, orang tua-tua, mereka lebih kepada pelaburan yang berisiko rendah. Okay, that's why kalau kita tengok orang tua-tua mereka ataupun yang telah pension, mereka melabur dalam skim-skim pelaburan yang berisiko rendah seperti amanah saham ataupun mutual funds atau pelaburan hartanah yang kurang berisiko. Okay, kerana mereka tidak sanggup atau mereka tidak mampu lagi untuk berdepan dengan ujian ataupun dugaan turun naik harga seperti pasaran saham. So mereka lebih kepada pelaburan yang berisiko rendah dan stabil. Okay. Dan mereka biasanya lebih selesa dengan pendapatan ataupun keadaan hidup mereka pada usia tua. Okay. Mereka tak perlu nak susah payah terlibat dalam aktiviti yang berisiko seperti orang muda. Compared to the young people, they love to involve in risk activities, okay, riskier activities, such as mereka suka explore, macam panjat gunung, panjat bukit, okay, mereka suka sukan yang ekstrim ataupun aktiviti yang ekstrim kerana jiwa mereka adalah jiwa explorer, okay, jiwa ingin mencuba, okay, dan ingin mencari perhatian. So seperti juga dalam bidang kewangan, as kita cakap in the financial market, okay, they go for riskier security such as stock exchange. They buy shares and they involve for bond. They speculate, okay, the price. They buy forex, okay, dan sebagainya. Okay, yang mana semua aktiviti-aktiviti tersebut adalah berisiko tinggi. Of course, the return also high. Okay, we move to the another slide. Okay, here. There are no, actually there are no wrong, there are no right answer. Okay, seperti yang saya sebut tadi, it based on or depend on your attitude, who you are. If you are ready to take more risk, you will go for more risk security. Okay, but some other they are not ready to involve in riskier activities, so they go more for stable security atau pelaburan, stable investment. Bukan semua orang sama, okay? Bukan semua orang sama. Ianya adalah berdasarkan kepada risk appetite atau risk attitude kepada seseorang pelabur tersebut lah. Alright. Okay. Kalau you perhatikan, if you notice here, if you notice here, these two company with different expected rate of return. Okay, dua syarikat ini mempunyai kadar pulangan dijangka yang berbeza. This company is 10% expected rate of return, and this company is 14% expected rate of return. This is not fair to compare company A and company B with different expected rate of return here. So how to fair comparison? Bagaimana nak membuat perbandingan yang lebih adil bagi dua buah syarikat yang mempunyai kadar pulangan dijangka yang berbeza. Okay. Kita menggunakan apa yang kita sebut sebagai coefficient of variance. So coefficient of variance used to measure the relative dispersion that is useful to compare risk of the asset with different expected rate of return. So kita menggunakan coefficient of variance ataupun covariance here. The higher the covariance, the higher of CV mean the higher of the risk. Okay, sama saja, consistent with the standard deviations. But coefficient of variance, we use CV to compare two or more company with different expected rate of return. Okay, kita menggunakan CV atau covariance ini untuk membandingkan syarikat-syarikat yang mempunyai kadar pulangan dijangka yang berbeza. Ini adalah perbandingan yang lebih adil bagi syarikat yang berbeza kadar pulangan dijangka. Okay, from the calculation, we see here asset A 10% expected rate of return, asset B 14%, and the standard deviation is 3.46 and 13.86 here. Okay, the answer is consistent with the standard deviations. Okay, di sini kita dapat 3.46 bagi 10, kita dapat 0.346 untuk covariance A, and untuk covariance B adalah 13.86 bagi 14, so kita dapat 0.99 here. So what is the conclusion? A unit of risk in return for asset B higher than asset A. Okay, 0.99 is higher than 0.346. As a conclusion, asset A is less risky than asset B. Or in the another word, asset B is more higher risk compared to the asset A. Okay, in the comparing, risk is more effective if we use covariance CV because it's considered the relative size of the rate of return on that asset. adalah lebih tepat kalau kita menggunakan covariant compared to the standard deviation. Tetapi boleh digunakan kedua-duanya sekali. Maksudnya CV lebih bagus kalau kita gunakan untuk perbandingan aset yang berbeza expected rate of return. Alright. Saya minta you all kira ini pada minggu lepas dan hari ini kita akan bincangkan jawapan ataupun kesimpulan yang kita boleh buat daripada dua aset ini. So saya bagi lagi it's about 10 minutes to calculate or recalculate this exercise, and when we come back here, I will call the names and I will mark your name here. Okay, saya bagi mark 10 minit untuk kita kira atau kirakan semula, dan saya akan panggil nama selepas itu untuk kita bincangkan soalan ataupun latihan ini. Alright, 10 minutes from now. Alright, guys. So what is the expected rate of return or ataupun R bar for each of the asset. Okay. Expected rate of return sini sepatutnya ada R bar lah. Okay, R bar here for each of the asset. Okay, you can reply through chat box or you can answer me by activate your microphone. Okay, I want to call Sun Jiamin. Sun Jiamin, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is the expected return for asset H and asset D?
4% for asset H and 11% for asset D.
R or expected rate of return 4%. Okay, 4% for asset H and
11% for
11%.
asset D.
Okay, 4% and 11%. Okay, here is the 4%. Sorry. Okay, here is here is here is 4% expected rate of return. 4% expected rate of return, and here is 11% expected rate of return. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And the next one, what is the standard deviation or sigma for asset H and asset D? Okay, Aminuddin, Muhammad Aminuddin Rosli, are you here? Aminuddin? Ya, Aminuddin. Apa jawapannya? Tak apa, betul tak betul itu belakang kira. Yang penting kita usaha dulu. Okey, berapa Aminuddin? Standard deviation. Ingat ya tadi berapa tadi Jamin? 4% and 11%. Alright, Haris Ruzaini. Haris Ruzaini, are you here? Haris, are you here? Muhammad Hazim. Hazim ada sini Hazim? You may reply me through the chat box or by activate your microphone. Azim, are you here? Alright. Kita pergi Muhammad Nur Aizuddin. Muhammad Nur Azuddin. Sarah Hanisa ada sini. Sarah Hanisa. Alright, macam mana Sarah? Untuk standard deviation A, H and standard deviation D. Pak, siapa dah boleh? Tolong kawan-kawan kita sini. Aminuddin, please double check your answer. Okay, siapa yang dah dapat? Alright, Sinlin, please double check your answer. Okay, we go for Deborah. Thank you, Deborah, for sharing your answer here. So asset H is 13.38 and asset D is 22.78. Okay, please double check the answer. I want to share the answer by Deborah here. So standard deviation for H is 13.38% and standard deviation for asset D is 22.78%. Okay, did you save your answer? That answer just now? Dah simpan, dah save jawapan tadi? Alright, now we go for question C here. What is the covariance or CV for H and for asset D? Apakah nilai covariance, apakah nilai CV untuk kedua-dua aset berkenaan, iaitu aset H and aset D? So saya nak panggil Fahim, Al-Fahim. Fahim ada sini? Okay, Fahim. berapakah ataupun apakah jawapan untuk aset H dan aset D covariant? Fahim mungkin tak tahu? Sekejap sekarang. Tengah ni jap. Okey, Muhammad Amirul Mukminin. Amirul Mukminin. Muhammad Amirul. Yes, Mirul. Berapa covariant untuk H dan aset D? Itu untuk yang mana satu? Covariant yang mana satu? Alright, kita pergi ke Nur Najibah Atikah. Nur Najibah, are you here? Najibah ada bersama-sama kita? Okey, Najibah, apakah CV untuk aset H dan D? Alright. Okay, kita balik ke Ikhwan. Ada Ikhwan sini? Okay, Wan. Tolong Wan. Covariant untuk H dan D. H 0.23, kemudian D. Alright, open for public. Okay, kita lelong lah, kita lelong. CV, okay, you tengok situ, CV untuk H adalah 3.34, sorry, 345, dan CV untuk D adalah berapa? 2.071. Alright. Yang tak dapat, tak jumpa CV tadi, itu CV kita untuk H. Okay, sekali lagi saya tulis. CV is CVH equal to 3.345 and CVD equal to 2.071. Okay, yang tadi saya minta save the answer. So here is 13.38 bagikan dengan expected rate of return. Sama juga di sini 22.78 divide with expected rate of return just now. Okay, this is the way how we get the covariate. Okay, I think we stop here. Yang lain-lain teruskan pengiraan, kita akan berhenti di sini dan kita akan sambung pada minggu hadapan pada hari Ahad. So I just want to remind you, this coming Wednesday during class time, okay, during class hour, here our class to start 2:30 till 4 p.m. Okay, I will open the quiz number 1. The combination of chapter 1, 2, and 3. Okay, for quiz number 1, 20 MCQ question with 4 or 5 possible answer. Okay, and the another one is in your UMOL also you can now see your first assignment, okay, individual assignment. Okay, for the group project, you may start now. After you register your company with me, and now you can proceed for the group project. Don't wait until the last minute, because I'm very sure in the process of doing your group project, you will face many problems. Okay, many problems. So setengah daripada you dah consult dengan saya melalui WhatsApp how to settle the problem in the group project. But yang lain-lain saya tak tahu sama ada you dah mula atau tak, sebab kalau you tak mula project berkumpulan ni, you tak akan nampak problem. See? Kalau you berjalan menjalankan projek ini, barulah you akan nampak masalah. Okay? Orang yang tak ada masalah ni orang yang tak buat apa-apa lah. Okay? Memang dia tak ada masalah apa-apa. Okay? Bagi yang membuat kerja ni, mereka akan jumpa masalah dan di situ mereka akan belajar how to tackle, how to deal with the risk. Bagi yang tak jumpa masalah ni sebab mereka tak buat apa-apa. They do nothing. That's why they have no problem. Alright. So, ambil pengajaran pada hari ini. Okay. Ada kawan-kawan you yang bersedia dan kebanyakan daripada kawan-kawan kita di sini tidak bersedia. So, mereka tak